For instance, I see pictures of some of the soldiers, you know, that are dealing with the issue of Boko Haram. Some of them, you know, cherry pictures, some of them not so good. How do we ensure the welfare of security agencies so that they can do better in the new year? Let me take this to Colonel Dari.
Yes, I think, thanks. That's a very, very good point. In fact, it was part of what I was going to discuss. It is very, very germane, you know. A situation whereby now we all complain about Nigerian police. We all complain about Nigerian police. Honestly, short of adopting the recipe, the Greek recipe of, you know, just sending everybody away and then starting all over, heavens will not fall. Because it's just so sad that you hear that a policeman shot somebody because he refused to give him 50 kobo. You know, I mean, you need to travel on the roads. So, but in fairness to these guys, as we speak, how much is their take home? How much? Let's look at it. And they have families who attend the same market. They have children. They need to pay for their education. And their children, everybody strives that their children should even be better than them. Look at these guys. How much are they earning? And please, I'm not going to talk about the military alone. Across the board, the customs, the immigration, the prisons, the NDLEA, the National Security and Civil Defense. How much? So I think there's need for the government to really look into this, to look into the general welfare package of this personnel, to look into insurance. The soldiers who are on the front line, what happens to them? If they lose their lives, what's going to happen to their family? Yes, I'm aware that there are certain schemes, you know, welfare insurance schemes in the military, whereby if something happens, you know, your family will get a certain package and all these things. But how much does that translate to today, given the current economic situation in the country? You know, so it's very, very important that the welfare of personnel across the board. Yes, I do agree. There are cost centers when there are no crises. Everybody says, oh, you know, they are wasting our money. They are just, you know, being catered for. But when there is a situation, we can't sit down here and be discussing. But the people are outside there sacrificing for us.
Captain Leo, you used the phrase, you brought up the phrase and you brought it in. So let me bring that in as we wind down here.
Okay.
When there's no crisis, there are cost centers, but they have facilities that they can use. For instance, the engineering corps can be used. I mean, they can be given contract if that's part of the law setting up the military to build. I mean, they do that in China. The engineering corps in the military, China's military, builds roads, builds infrastructure for the country. There's also the arms manufacturing department of the military. There's also the drugs making department of the military as well as that. So aren't these things that can be used to generate funds to run the military? Do they always need to be budgeted?
Yeah, saying they're cost centers, even in times of crisis, they are. Saying they're cost centers is not meant to make them liabilities, no. What it simply means is they don't generate.
For government.
It is a not-for-profit organization.
I agree.
It's what you call a necessary cost center. Now, when it comes to what you have said about doing things, you know, to generate income or to serve better, we have just started that. There are massive, wonderful projects that were done by the army that nobody sings or knows about. I recall on Channels Television, there was one bridge somewhere in the east that was crying to be mended. It's been there for over 70 years. and it was built by combat engineers. That's why it could stand all that years. It still carries people. It's not giving in yet. I don't know whether now the governor or the local government councillor there has done it, but I can tell you that we have facility, we have assets, both within the police force, both within the military, that can actually be honed towards giving more. The only thing why it's not being done, as I told you, is we are not grading, we are not appraising figuratively. Okay. We're not using figures. If we use figures, you should be able to say the army impacted this community to the tune of XYZ million by doing little things.
Captain Umar Aliyu and Colonel Yami Dare, both retired and security experts. Thank you both for sharing your thoughts with us.
You're most welcome.
Sunrise, we'll be back in a moment.
Thank you.
Please don't go away.